Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Yo, check it out. We're going to break this down. This is why Pooh Shiesty robbed Gucci Mane, from the words of Hernandez Govan. I've been watching this young man from way over here in New York, and this dude is straight gangster. I know, they got all types of crap on his name, but I don't listen to none of that because paperwork speaks for itself. I saw that man stood up and went to trial, all right, for a body. You know what that type of pressure is like? But he gonna break down exactly what happened because he talked to somebody firsthand that was in the joint, when the alleged robbery and kidnapping took place, and he gonna break it down. And I'm gonna give you a straight, raw, uncut. Like I said, I respect this man, but some things he said that I don't agree with. But I don't come on here and hoopla and disrespect nobody. I'm just gonna talk to him man to man. And everyone else watching this that might be in this situation at some point. And that's what these videos are for. It's a tutorial on how, if you're gonna be a gangster, know how to be a gangster. Know what's entailed to be a gangster, so you choose not to want to be a gangster. Know what entailed to be a gangster, so hopefully if you thinking you're a gangster, you want to reform from being that and squaring up and, going legit. All right, let's start this party, man. All right. All right, you know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. We're here. I'm going to play this Cam Capone news joint. Big shout out to Cam Capone. Check him out. And Hernandez Govan, they did an interview as far as the title was why Pooh Shiesty should have known an indictment was coming for robbing Gucci Mane. And, we're going to let him tell what happened. I'm going to break it down and react to it from a gangster point of view so you know what it is and, you'll know not to do certain things and get out the way.
I'm gonna get right into it, man. Not too long ago, you broke the news that Pooh Shiesty robbed Gucci Mane. Now, this news came out. A lot of people didn't believe it. A lot of people didn't believe Gucci Mane could get robbed and that he wouldn't crash out if he got robbed.
Yeah, I guess they thought he was a superhero.
They definitely, I think a lot of people are really heartbroken over this.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons, a few different reasons. Okay, but I'm just gonna start with the incident itself. What have you heard about the incident and how did things go down?
I just say it was more to it than Big Scar. It was some contract shit going on. Atlantic just gave Shiesty $5 million for publishing deal, and so they was trying to do another deal on the side with some type of branding, and Gucci was still involved in the deal, and Shiesty didn't want no parts of it, and so
you understand what he just said, right? He said that Shiesty got $5 million for something, then there was another part for him to do something with the branding. And, Gucci was still involved, and Shiesty didn't want to have no parts of it, didn't want to have no parts of Gucci having a part in it for whatever personal reasons that he had. So what we're dealing with is Shiesty said, nah, man, I'm not giving him nothing. I'm not letting him eat off my plate. But the contract says that he eats off the plate. So Shiesty didn't know how to react to that. So that's what led up to the incident that took place. But I just want y'all to understand so we could walk along to see what's going on. That Shiesty just, wasn't having it, didn't want Gucci to have no part of that.
That was part of the reason they met up to talk and try to, work some little things out or whatever. But Gucci was fully expecting it to get worked out. That's why he brought the cameraman and a couple more other people with him because he thought they was about to have a nice time. But that nice time turned into him shaking like a stripper on Judgment Day.
You see? Him shaking like a stripper on Judgment Day. right now, that's Memphis pride. He got every right to be prideful, but not right now on social media while a complaint has been filed and they're trying to put an indictment together because it's just too much being said. And it's not to disrespect him, just listen to it and pay attention, and we're going to break this down.
Yeah, so from what I understand, Pooh Shiesty asked him to kind of step away from everybody and go into the booth.
Yeah, for sure. Most definitely. Asked him, pulled him to the side, pulled him away from the retired police officer and get him out of his view or whatever. And once that happened, and allegedly they went to work.
You see what I'm saying? That's all they need to do because they're showing a motive, a reason, and that they was fully intent on robbing and kidnapping this man or these people. But it's not just one person, but that's what I want y'all to understand, right? Because now we're going to ride. Let me break this down too. There ain't nobody else going to tell you. They need Gucci Mane, but they don't need Roderick Davis. The feds need Gucci Mane, not Roderick Davis. Do you know why? Put it in the comments. The feds need Roderick Davis, because Roderick Davis is connected to an entity that's federally funded and federally protected, and that's what gives them jurisdiction for the federal government to deal with this case, because otherwise this would be a state case. See, y'all gonna learn something here at Unique Mecca Audio. This would be a state case without the entity. That's why they're not saying that Pooh Shiesty did anything to Roderick Davis. Roderick Davis got nothing to do with this for the feds to get involved, because that's a person. But now when you're talking about the CEO of a corporation that's federally registered, and the federal government protects that registration. You see how simple I make this? So that's why they keep saying that Pooh Shiesty put a gun at the CEO's head, because that makes it federal, that makes it life in jail. On a state level, they could wiggle around, probably get about 10, 8. That's in the state. That's if it was against Roderick Davis. But no, they wanted against Gucci Mane. Because the CEO for Gucci Mane's record label, the CEO for Gucci Mane is who they're saying was robbed and kidnapped and forced at gunpoint. Gucci Mane is in a crazy situation right now. So you understand, Gucci Mane's in a ridiculously crazy situation right now. Because we know Gucci about the street, he did a couple of moves, before he became Gucci and after the shooting. So we know he official. We ain't gonna take that away from him, But at the same time, he's legit now. His mind frame, his mind state is different now. So you understand. So then now you got Pooh Shiesty, who's still in the street and just coming from the belly of the beast, the penitentiary. Don't forget, is that first day out? FDO, first day out, he crushed them with that. He made so much money from that, he bought himself a $500,000 Bentley as a gift from that one song. And he's just coming home and getting that type of money. You know where his head is at? And then the company giving them that and then telling them that, take the little $5 million. Oh, I got 5, and now they want to make another move for 15 million, let's say. But Gucci Mane got to eat off of that. And he like, nah, I don't want him to touch my plate. You got no choice, young man, because there's a contract in place. And if you try and violate that contract, the federal government gets involved. And that's what just happened. So you're going to be a sacrificial lamb because they see the rappers are a little out of control, you know. Look at all the gang violence in all the different, major cities. So they know that. But they know they have to deal with you as well. So them knowing that they have to deal with you as well. And here you come in their office and they want to make sure you don't pull what they call these shenanigans. What Pooh Shiesty pulled is called a shenanigan. Because they look at it like that's some little boy. That's so beneath us. First of all, we don't need a gun to get anything done because we have the best lawyers. Our lawyers are our guns. And they bust bullets with their pens. See how I broke that metaphor down? That's how real gangsters move. When we still on the ground level and we grimy and shiesty in order to get the Gucci to elevate and go beyond that and start wearing your own brand instead of someone else's brand. That's where Gucci Mane is at. So he left that behind and he up here, Shiesty still down here, and Shiesty trying to pull Gucci Mane down here. But Gucci Mane can't go down there. And if he do go down there, he lose everything up here. Because then if Shiesty beat the case with the forcing the CEO at gunpoint, if Shiesty beat that case, then that means he's no longer on that label and Gucci Mane lost all that money and all that was for nothing. Now that's how Gucci's supposed to eat it and then deal with it. Gucci's supposed to eat that. Yeah, he got that. I ain't going to the police. I'm going to let that rock out. Let him get that. That's how the street move. I'm just telling you, I'm not promoting this. I'm just telling you how the street move. In a street chess move like that, all right, he got that because he know I can't go in the courtroom. That's like the kryptonite. We don't go in the courtroom. So I got to handle it on the street. So let him get away with it until you can catch up with him. And you pull the reverse thing and do the same thing to him and get it back. And this time you take him out. So you know ain't got to be no back and forth. That's how real it is on the street. That's why I say don't go on the street. This young man behind me, he's a gangster. He's a gangster. I'm not picking sides down there in Memphis. Rest in peace, Young Dolph. Man, I love his music. I bump Young Dolph music right along with Little Dirk. You know, come on, dog. Polo G, Lil Baby, NBA Youngboy. I listen to that. It don't kill me. My older friends want to listen to Frankie Beverly before I let go, and I just don't want to let go. Condemn me. But that's why I understand gangsters like this. He's representing for his city, man. And he letting it be known where he stand at, and he willing to die for that. And that's why he's on social media. He's willing to take whatever consequences come with that. That's why he's on social media. But me to you, young man, I wouldn't be on social media at this time speaking about an active, fresh case that haven't even properly brought an indictment yet. Because you said some things in here. I'm going to wait till you say it, then I'm going to bring it back up. But you was talking about, the young man, Big 30, holding the door. And the reason for holding the door. I'm going to wait on that and let you finish talking, man. But like I said, I respect your gangster, young man. And anybody watching this got to respect your gangster unless they just straight hating. Because it is what it is. You're letting them be known who you are. And for that, I respect and I salute. Let's keep it moving.
And do what Memphis people do.
See, Memphis.
What the police are alleging is that Pooh Shiesty asked him for his bag.
Yeah.
He got his bag.
Bag, watch, ring. he signed some release papers under duress.
See, right there, you know, Govan, by you saying that he signed it under duress, that's like, seal it. I know you already did this, but man, talk to your lawyer, man. That's not good you saying it at this point right here, because the feds have something that they got called hearsay. And they'll pull you in to ask you, who did you hear say that? And then want you to get on the stand and say, who said that? And we know you're not doing that. But I'm just saying to prevent even having to go down that road. Because what you're saying is hearsay, that you heard this firsthand from someone that was there. That's, they watching these tapes, man. Let the investigation play out, then do all the interviews you want. But I understand he got that Memphis pride. That's a warrior. That's a warrior, man. I mean, I'm on the other side now, Govan, but, sitting back, man, still having a piece of that side in my heart. I feel proud to see that the 26 years that I left behind, that the streets progressed. And then there's another side that say, man, we got to get out of that, Hobie. We got to get out of that mind state. That's the new mature me. But I'm speaking from both sides, so don't take it that I'm, what they call that, and trying to push, agenda. No, I'm not pushing an agenda, but I'm just saluting where it's due. From a street level, he gets a round of applause. Relax, y'all. Relax. I'm going to give props where it's due. That's all we do over here. If I ain't had nothing good to say, I wouldn't say nothing about him. But I watched him go to trial, and I felt proud to see him standing there going to trial as a man, standing up to his responsibility to save himself. And it's irrelevant if he's innocent or guilty. The bottom line is he fighting. He know he got to fight. Hold up, man. Let's play this joint.
And, so it went on for quite some time.
Nah, you know what? Let's get the intro.
Keep it going, 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 keep it going. Mecca what? Mecca audio, Mecca what? Mecca audio, Mecca what? Mecca audio, Mecca what? Mecca audio. I like the way it's going now.
All right, just had to give you that joint, man, to pick it back up. But, man, this is deep because this young man speaking like it is. Let's keep it moving because we ride.
It went on for about 45 minutes, the whole situation.
45 minutes. Sheesh, man. That's a crazy amount of time, man. They got him in the booth. I guess, Gucci Mane is like saying, that this.
Yeah, after, what I'm saying, when it started to unravel or whatever, he looked up, from what I was told from someone that was there. And he just looked up and said, man, this ain't how this go. We still got to go to the lawyers. And that's when.
See, I respect that, right? And I respect Gucci Mane. But Gucci Mane letting them know, like, yo, dog, this don't mean nothing. Like, why you doing this? That's what Gucci Mane is telling them, and they're not getting it. And it's not to disrespect them, because now I'm going to also speak, from the business point of view, from Gucci Mane's point of view. I'm going to defend Gucci Mane right now. You know what I mean? I had to defend the homie, Hernandez Govan, because, like I said, he's speaking straight. I had to defend Pooh Shiesty. And now I'm going to defend Gucci Mane. I'm just showing you how both sides work, because I'm like stuck in the middle right now, Let's get into this, man.
That's when somebody in there told him to shut his bitch ass up for a nigga shoot him on GP. And so, he got some act right real quick. Gucci, he was very cooperative.
But what did you expect him to do with alleged Draco in his face? So we can't take nothing from Gucci because he was cooperative or any of that. because the object is to survive. That's why I call myself a chameleon. Us on the street are chameleons because we know how to, transform. All right? Finish up of it.
He wasn't like the Gucci Mane on the songs. Yeah, he was more of a deacon when this happened. Yeah.
And what did you expect?
Well, I mean, yeah, if you got the Draco to your head.
Yeah, I mean, I understand you supposed to, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna follow the instructions, but you're still supposed to keep your pride though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Gucci was on Gucci next move was shedding tears.
You see what I'm saying? He said he should have kept his pride. Let's talk about the, keeping his pride, right? I know a lot of men that died from their pride, young men. I'm even gonna tell you one. I'm gonna take a ride and tell you about one. I feel like I really feel like taking a ride right now. I had a homie named Sham God, right? All from back in the days. Y'all remember Sham God? We used to be over on 145th Street over there by Shaka Zulu, we chilling and all that. Sham God used to wear this big ass link, the Gucci link chain, cost $500, 10 karat gold from 125th Street. We all wore them. You know what I mean? This when we was wearing 10 karat gold, didn't know no better before we elevated. We talking about 85, 86, 87, all, back then. Right? So he got this big $475 it was, because they wouldn't even say $500, but they had told you $475 with tax $500. But they'll put in the window $475. Everybody went in, brought one. Shambo had this big ass chain on, and he rocking the chain, and he downtown, and we over there on Lenox by Madison. We down by Madison, right? So we in a bar, and the dude come in, he robs the bar. Now, he puts the gun up and he tell everybody, put the money in the bag, blah, blah, blah. There wasn't no cell phones back then, put the beepers in the bag, and he robbing the whole joint. So while he robbing the whole joint, Shamgar's sitting near the joint, he having his drink. And dude walked up to him, seen the big chain on his neck, he said, man, take that off, put the gun in his face. He said, man, I'm not taking nothing off. And dude said, you're not taking it off. He said, man, you heard what I said. Dude shot him in his face and took it off. And that was Shamgar's pride. And at the time when that happened, the brothers on the street would say, man, Shamgar went out hard. Shamgar went out hard. That's where the streets was at. And that's a part of his legacy as far as the street, because he never made it off the street. So he's comfortable where he's at. So for Gucci Mane to be like he said, almost shedding tears, dog, like I said, you get pulled over by the police, you act like a goofy. You got a gun in your face, you act like a goofy. You know what I mean? No matter how tough you think you're supposed to be, or they say you're supposed to be, or the image you're supposed to be, act a goofy. Because that takes away the anger they got that they're expecting you to sit there and fight back. But the whole time you acting a goofy, you say, man, I can't wait to get so I could be the rabbit with the gun. But you play the goofy. So if Gucci Mane played the goofy, and Gucci Mane don't lose. Gucci Mane, I'm telling you this from OG part right now. You don't lose no status for however you acted when the Draco was in your face. You don't lose nothing from the way you reacted with a Draco in your face. That's your choice. You here right now to either absorb the feelings or reflect them off of you. And I'm telling you, you ain't do nothing wrong. But this is a gangster talking to you. From a gangster point of view, you did a lot wrong. From a gangster point of view, you did a lot wrong. You're supposed to always stand on your morals and your principles. You're not supposed to surrender. What kind of soldier surrender? What you mean you was crying? That's that other side. And that's the side I'm telling y'all that y'all don't want to be on, because that's the unempathetic side. That's having no empathy. Do y'all know what empathy is? Put it in the comments. Do you know what empathy is? Because, that's the problem. We lose our feelings, emotions, and become unempathetic. And that's what's deep, right? I'm going to put my number up here, right? Because if any of y'all want some, advice and want to kick it, man, I'm here. If somebody don't like what I'm saying, I'm here. I don't come on here, as you see, and disrespect nobody. You know what I mean? I'm giving both sides the props because they both deserve it, because they both played in the street. Same generation. It is what it is. Memphis, Atlanta, and this is not a Memphis versus Atlanta, Atlanta versus Memphis. Not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Van Govan, he's standing on Memphis is the shit, as he should. The same way Gucci think Atlanta the shit, New York think they the shit. You know, Rick Ross think that, you know, Miami the shit. C-Dog and Cass think California the shit. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the way it is. But, you know, come on. Let's finish playing this, man. I'm enjoying this.
You know, so it was crazy, you know what I'm saying? But he should have been more prepared, pulling up like that, knowing that it was an issue. I was surprised, I was shocked. You know, that ain't how real street move, you know, when
see, and that's the point right there. Govan, you're not dealing with a real street dude anymore. You're dealing with a dude that's spending at least 20 hours a day being a family man and a husband and a productive citizen. And maybe 2 hours a day reminiscing about, you know, the shootout when they ran up on him, you know, when, you know, he allegedly ran off with the bag. You know what I'm talking about. When he was Gucci Mane on the street grinding. You know, he give that maybe 2 hours, you know, a couple of days a week. Other than that, you know, he's 24/7. The family man. So now you call a family man that's a businessman to go have a meeting so he can make money to feed his family. And he's going the same way he's been going for the last X amount of years that he became this family businessman. Do you blame him? Put it in the comments. Do you blame him? It's two sides to that. I'm going to tell you both sides. But he goes to the meeting and he's laughing at him because he didn't come prepared. Because he didn't think Shiesty was that crazy. He put his morals and principles in Shiesty. Yo, you always, listen, man, when I'm dealing with my peoples from the street, even though I may be up here with some of them, and some of them is above me, but even though I may be up here above some of them, when I deal with them, I got to put myself down there how I was with them in order to communicate and function and survive around them. And that's the problem. Dudes from up here leave and come back down here. And they want to block out everything that happened down here. So now they walking around feeling their way in the dark because they done blocked out everything. And then when you run up on a Pooh Shiesty say, yo, let's have a meeting, homie. And I'm telling you, I know in Pooh Shiesty's mind, there's no way Gucci Mane was going to go to the police on me. There's no way that he's going to go to the police on me. Remember, I'm the first one to make that video, letting it be known Gucci Mane is in a tough situation right now, right? Subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel. I need to make audio on Real Boss TTTV. And don't forget, Unique make audio prison story, right? But I'm the first one to tell you that Gucci Mane have to either stand up and say he's not cooperating, that statement in the complaint is false, or give away Shiesty. But then again, Shiesty won because he got him to sign. However he got him to sign. From Shiesty's point of view on the street, I won. I got him to sign. I made that nigga sign. That's Shiesty right now. Shiesty won on the street. Shiesty get a round of applause, man. Fuck that. Shiesty get a round of applause. You gotta give Shiesty and Memphis a round of applause, man. Stop it. Stop it, man. Relax, relax, relax. You gotta give him a round of applause. Shiesty got that nigga to sign. He won. You know? But it's a fake bill. You can't spend it anywhere. But he won. And Gucci won. Because Gucci walked away with his life. With a Draco in his face. He won. Shiesty won, he signed. Gucci won, he got his life. We understand they're both winners. Because we're dealing with the street. You know? Now it's up to Gucci what he gonna do next. Is he going to cooperate with the people? Or is he going to stand on, I'm Gucci Mane, the dude that with up two dudes came, a dude come run up in my crib, try to take me out and survive that? Is he going to hold on to that image, or is he going to shell that, take that shell off like a caterpillar and step up to be Gucci Mane, the businessman, and say, yeah, he robbed me and I'm going to testify about it because I'm a businessman. He tried to take my money and I pay taxes every year, large taxes, and I got a right to utilize the system that I pay tax to. That's where Gucci at. And then he could also be like, nah, I ain't going to cooperate. I'm going to let the system play out. But if he get out, I'm going to see him. We're going to deal with that. But then if he take that route, then there's the signature on the contract. So that means he'll also lose Pooh Shiesty. And if he made $24 million allegedly in 3 years, he's going to lose a lot of millions, especially right now. Pooh Shiesty music playing off the chain. Who listen to Pooh Shiesty? Give me a fire emoji right now if you listen to Pooh Shiesty, since all this been going down more, right? But that's where we at. He's between a rock and a hard place. Because then if he don't cooperate, that means he's saying he wasn't under duress and Pooh Shiesty's off the label per the contract that he signed when he was not under duress. In order to keep Pooh Shiesty legally, he have to rat streetwise by ratting him out that, yeah, he made me sign it under duress. When we know on the street, like if somebody, Pooh Shiesty looking at this, right? We ride. Pooh Shiesty looking at it like he on the street and he just robbing another corner boy. He just robbing another homie. He just robbing another dude that got the pack that, that disrespected him and he feel need to be checked. So say, man, I'm gonna rob that bitch ass nigga. That's where Pooh Shiesty mind is at. But the Department of Justice is saying, no, you robbed an entity. You robbed the CEO that's protected by us, the federal government. Now we have to show the rest of you coming up into our world because we need you in our world from your music because it's profitable. But we have to let them know that if you walk up to one of us with a Draco or any type of weapon, we're going to bury you and your career is going to die. No matter how much money you make, you can't spend but $290 a week in the federal penitentiary legally. That's it. So your family going to spend the rest of the money. You'll be buying people cars and houses and doing everything from behind the wall when you should have been out there with them, Pooh. But nobody sat you down to let you know that, yo, you're in a different tax bracket right now. When he came out, he walked out of jail, from the first day out, like he said in the record, from he walked out of jail, I want y'all to understand that he was, in a different tax bracket. He a different figure, nigga. You heard that? He a different figure, nigga. Not field, nigga. Figure, nigga. Used to be a field nigga. We all were field niggas. Just so you understand. But let me get back to Govan because I've been on here long enough, man. I want to go chill out. Hold up.
It's an issue and you're going to talk to somebody about something, you're supposed to pull up right. And if he would have pulled up right and properly prepared, like there's no way that could have happened. They would have had to assess the situation.
But Gucci Mane was not pulling up thinking on a street level that we're fighting over a contract with guns. But bottom line is, Shiesty looking at it like we fighting, and any weapon we choose to bring is welcome. And that's what you told me in our conversations of us working together, that you bout it, and you can handle anything, including someone running up in your crib and you having to unalive them and surviving that. So I'm thinking, whatever I do to you, you're going to keep it on the street. Right now, Shiesty's sitting in the cell. Right, let's take a ride. Right now, Shiesty's sitting in his cell saying, man, you know, I know he ain't going to police. I know he, because, you know, Shiesty got an image of him. And the image that he got of him that he wasn't going to police. So he still got that image, especially now that, you know, Big 30 lawyer done jumped out there and said that, you know, he's not cooperating. You know, say Gucci Mane is not cooperating. Now, when one of the lawyers goes saying that, you know, all that is playing in Gucci's head, is playing in Shiesty's head. And Shiesty's like, man, he know I had to do what I had to do because he know he done got over. He done got caught. You know what I mean? He tried to stand on it instead of making it right. He know I had to rob him. That's where Shiesty's at. He know he deserved to be robbed. He know if that was me, he would have robbed me. This where Shiesty head is at. It's like, man, I welcome him robbing me if he feel that I violated. So being I welcome him robbing me, he done robbed me now. You know what I mean? I robbed him back. You know? And I ain't taking in blood because I ain't hurt nobody. You know, I ain't taking in blood. I could have took it in blood, Shiesty said. He said, man, Shiesty the cell say, man, I know he ain't going to cooperate with them, man. We're going to beat this. Beating it mean it just being kicked down to the state level. Because instead of going to the big boys up there with the Department of Justice, they'll rather deal with it in the state. Because whatever happens could be hid under the rug. But when it comes to the federal government, that becomes a part of our history. 100 years from now, they're going to be, you know, looking up and talking about what's going on in Memphis, New York, Atlanta, Miami, California, Chicago. They're going to do studies on us, man, to see why we're nuts. And then something happened and we bring it to social media while the case is pending. This is what they're going to study in another 40 years, probably 20 years. Watch what I tell you. See, the same way y'all studying us in the 80s and 90s saying I'm old, burnt out, or ass back, cracking. 20 years from now, they're going to see these dudes is burnt out. But they living it now. Pay attention to the jewels that I'm giving you and the words that are coming out of my mouth. All right, let's go back.
He'll still have his belongings and nobody would have got robbed if he would have been moving how he say on those songs, all those thousands of songs and shit that he made. I guess that shit was just some action figure songs or something because he don't roll like that. Gucci ain't a gangster at all.
One of the things that I was...
Yo, by him covering and playing wussy and however he reacted with the Draco in his face, that don't take away from his gangster. That shows his intelligence. That shows you his will to survive. He will suppress his pride and his ego. And if we could leave our pride and ego out of our daily lives, we will be unstoppable because the biggest enemies and obstacles we have is our pride and ego. So Gucci Mane known to take his pride and his ego and put it aside and cower while the Draco was at his face. Civilized world said he did the right thing. But street world say, man, he ain't gangster. But the reality is, he's alive. He's alive. Put in the comments what y'all think about that. That might be a little too deep. Let me go back to, let me ride back. Let me ride back to Govan.
You know, pretty surprised at is they were saying the Big 30 held the door closed so the security couldn't get in.
Held the door closed so the security couldn't get in, or
the off-duty police.
Yeah, or so,
You know.
or for somebody, you know, somebody may have been trying to get out.
Right there, he just stamped the kidnapping, didn't even realize it. Vance, not disrespect you, just let you know, please stop that. Now you're talking about, you're describing the elements of a kidnapping charge is to restrain someone physically from going about on their free day-to-day movement. So you saying that he could have been stopping somebody from getting out, that's kidnapping. Just like you tying a door shut and telling somebody they can't go in. They use that. Let's ride. Let's ride. I'm gonna show you how. I'm gonna show you how to ride. I'm gonna show you how to ride. I feel like riding. We're already out here 40 minutes, right? I'm gonna show you how to ride. I feel like riding. I had a co-defendant used to come to New York. She came to New York, pick up the drugs. She liked to move. Every time she comes, she want to run back to go back down for no really reason. She didn't want to stay to wait to give us time to do what we need to do. So, you know, she kept leaving. So, you know, I wound up putting a deadbolt on the lock. I put a deadbolt on the lock so that, you know, I know she couldn't get her ass out of there. But I don't think it's kidnapping. You know what I mean? All you got to do is call me and I'm going to come let her out. It's just like when you go out and you lock the kids in the house. And you put the deadbolt on so they can't go out. You leave the 14, 15-year-old in there with them and you put the deadbolt on. We don't think that there's a fire, but there could be a fire. But we're not thinking that, you know, we're putting them in danger. We're not thinking that it's a crime. And that's what they looking at it is nothing that, Shiesty looking like nothing I'm doing is a crime because Gucci ain't going to no police. We going to handle this on the street because he one of us. He got me, I'm getting him. Now take off the watch and the jewels and give me the wedding band too. You know what I mean? Just to let it be known he got him. You know, but him saying that, you know, he's stopping anyone from going out, that's the kidnapping charge you just mentioned right there. That's the elements.
As well, you know. And,
well, that too.
Yeah,
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And yeah, they said a third ball was standing by the door. You know, 30 kind of big and wide. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 30 got a little size on them. So they the right person was on the door.
Yeah. And they got a door to keep the right person on the door behind the door. And that's what we're trying to prevent over here at Unique Mega Audio.
Yeah, man. I mean, the whole situation. I mean, I guess even the cameraman, they're showing pictures of the cameraman.
Yeah. The cameraman, the white guy. Yeah, white guy. He got beat up, you know, and got robbed of his positions. And it was I heard.
See, when I hear that the white dude got beat up, the cameraman got beat up, not to disrespect anybody, but I think, what the hell did he do to piss them off? What the hell did he do? Why did they choose the white dude to beat up? The white dude must have been really, he was an off-duty cop, so he probably acted a little cocky. That's why I would have asked Evander if I was there. I want to know, what did he do? Why did he get beat up? Why was he the only one to get choked out? They're not racist. Why was he the only one to get choked out? Somebody put in the comments, tell me what the white dude did. Did anybody hear what the white dude did to piss them off that they wanted them to have to choke him out? And didn't even lay a hand on Gucci Mane because Gucci Mane cooperated like he should have in a situation with a Draco in his face because the object is to get out of there. And you get back and you redeem yourself by blowing bop, 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 bop. You know? Come on, man. Hold up.
From a valid source that recently, prior to the indictment, someone tried to return the white guy's belongings to him. And he said no, he didn't want them.
What do you expect? You choked him out. Yo, you choked him out. Yo, and the cameraman was probably friends with the off-duty cop. You know what I mean? He probably hired him to come. You know, and you choked him out, and you think you're gonna say, here, let's start over? No, I'm not from the street. I'm gonna punish your black ass. You know, this is what it is. So once he said he wasn't taking his stuff back, it's like, man, yo, you can keep that. You don't choke me out. You earned that. Don't go backwards now, tough guy. Stand on your business about you giving me something back. No, I'm gonna give you something up front. These 30 years, all right?
And me, if that was me and he sent me that message back, I would have had a one-way ticket to Honolulu, some motherfucker where, you know, because they should have knew when he told him he didn't want his belongings back that the indictment was on the way.
Right there. Well said. Man, this dude is a tip. Round of applause again to Hernandez Govan. And Cam Capone for this fly interview. I like this. Relax, y'all. Relax. I like this. This is a good tutorial right here, man. Like I said, put my number up again. You know what I mean? If you want to call something I said wrong, facts wrong, or whatever, feel free to call me. I'm open-minded. I listen. I'm learning. This is all new to me, so I'm watching this generation, and my street side is proud to see men like this holding it down. But my mature side is saying, family, wait till after, you know, the investigation, things like that. Like the little TJ incident going on. You know, they investigating. You know, everybody's yelling TJ shot him. So bottom line, okay, they're gonna come back with an indictment saying TJ shot him. But right now there's no indictment. But everybody's yelling that TJ shot him. The news is even saying it the way to leave it so you can speculate that TJ shot him by saying that Offset shot TJ arrested, you know, at casino in Florida. So that's telling you that in your mind that TJ's arrested for shooting Offset. Am I right or wrong? Put in the comments, somebody let me know. Subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel again, Juanita Mecca Audio, my man Real Boss TTTV, Unique Mecca Audio Prison Story. You want the prison stories? Go right to my playlist where it say prison stories, they banging. Let's keep it moving. All right.
Cheers, cheers, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio.
Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio. We gon' do it like we gon' do it like we keep it moving like we gotta do it like
Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was wine. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, this a raw in uptown. Baby horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now you trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we